Hello to my favorite artist. I'm so happy to see you, and I'm happy that you are back and ready to get creative. So, you may remember that for the last few weeks, we have been talking about famous artists, and I've chosen some of my favorites to share with you. So far, we have talked about Pablo Picasso, Frida Kahlo, and Yayoi Kusama. And all three of them have totally different styles of art. Today, we will learn about someone new. So let's put on our art goggles and have a look at this week's artist, Alexander Calder.
This artist is Alexander Calder. He was born a long time ago, more than 100 years ago, and he is an American artist from the United States. He is known for many different types of art. Here he is in his studio. Whoa, that's the place where he made art. And as you can see, we have lots of big sculptures. Let's look at his paintings next. And let's describe what we see. Remember, if you like it, you can say, ooh la la. What do you see when you look at this painting? What colors do you notice? What shapes do you see? What do you see here? Maybe you see that he uses a lot of primary colors, red, blue, and yellow, in his artwork. One time, he even got to decorate an airplane, and he used the same shapes as his painting and the primary colors, red, blue, and yellow. Now, Alexander Calder is really famous for something called a mobile. Here you can see him hanging something. Here's an example of one of Alexander Calder's mobiles. As you can see, there are different shapes, and he usually hangs these from the ceiling. In this photo here, he's holding a small mobile. It's really cool because they move around in the air. Let's look at one in an art museum. Here I see lots of black shapes. Ooh, and one red one. Do you see that too? And it's hanging from the ceiling. When the air hits it, it moves a little bit like this. When you look at his artwork, what do you wonder? What questions do you have? I wonder if this mobile is heavy or light. I wonder if it only moves slow, or can it move super, super, super fast like a race car?
Ooh la la, his art is pretty cool. All right, let's make some art inspired by him. So I'm going to show you what we're going to do today.
We are also going to make something that hangs from the ceiling and moves around in the air. Here's an example of a paper twirl mobile. Now, for the steps, we're going to use a big circle, draw a spiral, color and paint the circle spiral, and then we will cut it out. We will also add a little bit of yarn to the top so that it can hang like an Alexander Calder mobile.
For today's project, you will need one fairly large white piece of paper. Oh, hey Squawker. You're also going to need some crayons and watercolor paints. Now, later we're going to use a scissors as well. So these are our materials to start.
We will begin by tracing a circle. I have a big tray and I also have a mixing bowl. Either of those would work well. Just make sure it's fairly big. I think mine was actually a little bit too big. Now we're going to trace the circle. So I'm using a crayon, and the crayon is going to hug around the circle, and I'm going to go all the way around tracing my circle. Step number 2, I'm going to draw a spiral. Starting at the outside, I'm going to go around, taking my time and doing it carefully. I'm using a crayon to make my circle, and I finish my circle, my spiral, right in the center. Next up, we are going to add color, baby, color. So I'm starting with crayons first, decorating my whole spiral with crayons. And then I'm going to do watercolor. I did the watercolor right on top of the crayon and got some pretty cool effects.
Squawker says, ooh la la. Well, I finished painting in my spiral, but guess what? I have to wait for it to dry because once it's dry, I'm gonna flip it and I'm going to paint the back side so that both sides have paint on it. So right now, I just have to wait. All right, guys, now my paint is totally dry. So I'm actually gonna cut out the circle next. So my front side is painted and I just cut it out. Now what I need to do is I need to decorate the back. Now I don't need to do a spiral. I already did the spiral on the front. So on the back, I can use crayons, I can use watercolor, I can use both, and I can decorate it however I want, filling up my circle. So once your painting is dry on both sides, you are ready to take a scissors and cut out the spiral. Maybe a grown-up will help you with that step.
Remember I started my spiral on the side? Well, that's where I'm going to start cutting around and around, being very careful with my fingers. Maybe you want a grown-up to help you with this step.
Once you cut out your spiral, you can do the finishing touch. Punch a hole in the very center, and you can take some string or some yarn, and maybe a grown-up can help you with this. Tie a little knot so that you can hang it, maybe in front of a window or somewhere special in your house. Ooh la la, I hung mine outside on my balcony and it is so fun to watch it twirl around. I made mine a little bit bigger than I expected, but it still looks awesome and I wanted to show you how it turned out. Wow.
The cleanup crew says, don't forget to clean up after yourself. Thank you very much.
I hope that you had so much fun and I cannot wait to see the photos of your art. So please send them to me and I'm sending you a hug and a kiss. I'll see you next time. Bye.